Hello and welcome once more to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Amata. Today is the 17th of December and I have some news for you this time on The Division, as of course the developer, who is Ubisoft Massive, has given some details regarding the game, which includes that finding food and water is an important part of the game. Now, before you jump to conclusions, they have said that your soldier will not suffer from hunger or thirst. However, scavenging for clean water and food within the post-apocalyptic world is an important aspect of trading, and they've also given some more information on the classless progression system. Now, this comes from a full interview, which was, well, not really an interview, but a Ubisoft Massive video, which was spotted by the Examiner. Now, I will link it in the description for your perusal if you want to give it a watch, but I'm going to cover most of the points in this video. Now, inside the video, the design director for the game, who goes by the name of Axel Ridby, said that, quote, "Consider that our game is a lot about the fall of society, and things that we take for granted on everyday life, such as clean water and food, they suddenly become scarce resources in the game. Not only do you actually have to go out and look for food and water, but they become very valuable and rare resources that can be used to trade and stuff like that. But when it comes to having to drink water and eat food to be able to survive, that's not really what we want from it. Food and water will be a very important part of the game, but players will not need to eat and drink to stay alive." Now, he added that the game will set your soldier off with a kit bag full of basic supplies, but where you go from there in terms of scavenging and progression is up to you. And he explained further, saying, quote, "When we start the game, the player's character only has his go bag with him, right? When it becomes activated, that's the only thing he can really bring with him. In that go bag, he roughly has 72 hours of supplies. He's got his weapons and his gear, and that's what he starts with. Then when moving throughout the world, it's going to be a lot about looting and acquiring new gear as you progress, focusing a lot on the RPG aspects of the game, since we are very much an RPG. So acquiring loot and gearing up your character is going to be a very big part of the game." Now, according to Ubisoft, The Division is very much a game founded on the idea of choice and putting the players in the shoes of someone else who is, of course, dealing with the fall of society. To that end, how your soldier levels up and gains new skills will not be bound by a class, but rather evolution throughout the game based on your choices and ability. Now, Ridby was then asked if the abandoned cars throughout the city of New York could be used by players, to which he highlighted even more choice. He said, quote, "If society fell and suddenly you had to hunt for food and water, you couldn't go down to your local supermarket and buy whatever you want. You have to actually start conserving it and start thinking about how you're spending those valuable resources that you have. If you did have access to fuel, would you use it to make sure you have access to clean water, or make sure that you have access to be able to heat your food by a mobile generator you can fuel and produce electricity? Or would you use it to fuel your car? I know what I would do." And on this issue of cars, the game designer Matthias Carlson added, quote, "The way you navigate and move through the city or a game that is open in nature, it's very core to how you experience the world. We are currently investigating what is best for our game, what we can do to give you the best experience as a player, because that is, in the end, what is most important to us." Now, I have to say, this actually sounds really, really cool, what they're saying. I think that they might want to consider, though, adding sort of a hardcore mode, for want of a better word, where you do have hunger and thirst and so on. Because if the food and water gathering mechanics are already in the game, if people want that extra challenge of having to worry about food and drink and maybe even sleep, then I think it would be interesting to give it to them. Then people who want that pure survival experience, which is something that we haven't really gotten too much. There's plenty of games that have been coming out based on survival, but not many have done it very well, and not many have had some certain aspects of the game mechanics that you would like from a survival game. So I think that could be something for them to consider. But even if they don't do that, this actually sounds really, really cool, and I actually really like this idea of not having your abilities bound by, oh, you're a medic or whatever. No, that's not how life works. You can just pick up a book and learn how to be, I don't know, a plumber if you really wanted to, just because your day job is, I don't know, you're a doctor or something. I know doctors wouldn't want to be a plumber, but you get my point. You can, of course, do that if you want to. So it makes sense to have it be a bit more organic, I suppose is the word, where you can learn and get new abilities based on your actions within the game. So if your character spends a lot of time sneaking around, breaking into people's houses, stealing stuff, then you're probably going to get skills related to that. So I'd be curious to see how it actually works within the game. Of course, it's all well and good to say this, but how well it actually works within the gameplay is another thing entirely. But still, my interest is definitely piqued. I don't know. I mean, I would like a survival game, to be honest. I would like a proper survival game. However, of course, having to worry about eat, food, and drink in a post-apocalyptic environment in a game, well, I don't know. I'm not one of those people who plays every game on hard mode. I've completed a few on hard mode, obviously. One of which was God of War 2, which was actually a pain in my ass, but still. Or God mode, or whatever the hardest one was. I genuinely can't remember. So, you know, one extra bit of challenge is nice. I don't know if I want quite that much challenge for me personally, but I think that it might be something for them to consider for a different mode or something like that. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.